Your implicit bias, our implicit bias lies in the aftermath of election 2024. I'm your host, Kevon Bordelon, and yes, we were here for implicit ballots. We are here on an episode that will air on, November 9th? That is, nothing but what happened after Election Day 2024. Let me introduce you to the crew who's here in the TSPL, the Mr. Lester's TSPL. That's the top secret podcast layer for those who aren't initiated into the show yet. At the bar, we have Lee Ritter and we have Mike Trammell. Lee of Ritter Consulting Engineers. Trammell, what is it this week? Is it box drop this week? I mean, what else? What other business are you in now?
I think I'm gonna get into garbage trucks.
Garbage trucks and clear spring water. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. That was good. Yeah, ring the bell. All right. And of course, the Rustic Renegade is here as well, Caleb Morris. We were reviewing our weekly whiskey as it is a split decision blue here in the TSPL. Blue being the highest rating we can give it. If you don't know the rating code here in the TSPL, go back, find our previous segment. You can find it on podcast. You can find us wherever our socials are. We're on X, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube. Please go find us, go follow, go subscribe, go like us. It helps the show. It helps you get out your implicit bias as well. So let's go ahead and play What Would You Pay for the box set? Because we're not playing What Would You Pay for the Senator by Proof and Wood. We're going to play What Would You Pay for the box set, which is available at one of our weekly whiskey sponsors. And the box set, as you can see, is on the bar.
Before the Tan, the Myth, the Legend jumps in here.
The Tan, the Myth, the Legend, yes.
I had to make sure I didn't bite my tongue saying it so fast. It's pretty hard. We haven't opened the second one and we're already guessing.
That's a valid point.
I mean, and as someone who has had, I don't want to overjudge because I've been there. But okay, I'll play your game, sir.
Well, and how's this? Think about this from this perspective. The election just happened. So not what would someone else pay for a senator or representative?
It's already bought
because I'm
paid
sure
for.
they were bought and paid for. Yes.
Yeah. What would you pay for this senator and this
cheap
representative?
at this point.
Okay. All right. So here's the deal. Number one, why didn't you just ask to open the representative, Ritter?
Because I already poured a second pour. The first one.
Well, that sounds like a you problem, not a me problem.
Ritter is jumpy tonight, y'all.
Okay,
y'all, you ought to see sitting over here behind, like he's all handsy behind the bar. Like
You're okay. You're feeling good, aren't you?
Did you know that
this is the most action I've had in a while?
Did you know that in his previous life he was a skier?
Where's this one going?
Yeah,
Where's
I'm
this
gonna leave
one
that
going?
one.
I'm not going anywhere with him. Where Lee takes us up to him.
Okay. Anyway, let's do this.
Downhill fast.
Let's do this. So,
Yeah, this did.
so Walker, why don't we ask you? What do you think, Walker? Should we just let people open up the second bottle and should we go ahead and play, or do we wait and play What Would You Pay maybe in the second hour? What do you think, Walker?
Well,
It doesn't matter what you think. Yeah. No, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, that was probably coming. And whenever I say, you're probably gonna do the opposite.
No, I'm curious. I'm not necessarily going to do the opposite. I'm just curious as to what you think. Your opinion.
I think we should play it now.
You want to play it now? Let's play it now. Let's put it out there, and then here's what we can do. An hour or two, we can revisit if people got it right.
Ooh. Okay, I like that. Let's just write it down.
Open the bottle first.
I will.
Okay, so tell you what, we'll play it at the end of this segment as people get a chance to sample this bottle and go from there. All right.
I'm gonna make
That's
room
not the
for
top
it.
of the bottle, Ritter.
Let's start
Gotta come
here.
around the bottom.
Oh, sorry.
Let's start here. I am curious as to initial reaction because only the Rustic Renegade was here when we did implicit ballots, had the opportunity to be here. The two people at the bar did not have the opportunity to be here for implicit ballots. Your initial reaction, number one, to the election outcome. Number two, to the aftermath that we have seen in the last 36 hours in between finalizing the election and recording this episode. Who's starting at the bar?
I'm working on the bottles.
Okay, then Ritter, I guess you're starting. Or Ritter, you're not starting. You are starting, Trammell. What are your initial thoughts on the aftermath?
All I can say is I was raised in a middle-class family, and I really want a democracy. That's all I've heard the last few months. So that's all I know.
That's all you know.
I'm sure your portfolio knows what you want right now too.
True. But so you're asking me what my
What do you? I mean, is this what you thought was going to happen? What's your
Absolutely
reaction? Okay.
So we were kind of watching you guys the other night, me and my son and my wife. And when I saw North Carolina kind of starting to show those, the good results starting to come in, I'm like, man, maybe he does have a chance. And then Pennsylvania, the numbers started looking better and better. And then I believe Pittsburgh and Philadelphia reported pretty early in the poll that night. So those numbers.
Some of Philadelphia did.
Right.
Some of it got stopped up all of a sudden, and they stopped reporting results for a while.
Yeah.
If you remember.
That's kind of what everybody's kind of saying, like, you remember back in 2020, everything started slowing down. Like, it was a slowing down. And I kept telling my son, I was like, you remember in 2020, everything did slow down. Like, the reporting started slowing up. And I kind of felt that, but it felt like we had kind of got above that and reached over it. I was completely surprised. I thought I had an inkling that Trump would pull it out. I was probably like a 70-30. Probably going into the night, but completely surprised by the dominance that basically happened with all the blue, what do they call it, the blue wave, Pennsalaria, Michigan.
Oh, the blue wall, the great blue wall.
Great blue wall, that's it.
God bless you.
Bless you.
God bless.
You always got to get in on my set. Huh? You always got something. It wasn't even a real sneeze, y'all. But anyway, I was amazed, man. At the end of the night, just the static that this really came true. Like, I think it's so great for especially like our kids' futures, and just we could have really been going down the wrong path.
Okay, so what about the aftermath? Is that what you expected? I mean, if you thought, well, if he wins, what do I expect to see? Is it living up to what you thought was going to happen?
I figured there'd be criers out there. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, that's kind of the question.
I mean, I don't understand why so many people. I don't really pay a lot of attention to Facebook and stuff like that. I'm trying to understand what rights are being taken away now. That's the biggest thing I'm seeing is all these people are saying that the rights are going to be taken away, that world's not going to be the same for them. But what is being taken away? I don't understand. I mean, we've already seen what a Trump economy can do.
Correct.
Yeah, that was probably even before COVID and all the businesses I have. That was some of the best 4 years of revenue that we experienced. Money was flowing freely. Like right now, there's no money flowing because inflation. You go to the grocery store, your buggy that used to cost you $50-$60 is $150 now, and it really affects the people that live paycheck to paycheck. And I've talked to a few people in the last few weeks that said, they want to change, but like inflation is really affected those people hard that live paycheck to paycheck. There's the basic necessities like groceries and gas, and that's the things that Trump can really focus on early on and make a big difference.
All right, Ritter, what about you?
What he said? No. So I was trying to think while he was on his diatribe. I think this is the 7th presidential election I've voted in, and
You old.
That's it? Really? I mean, I'm trying to think.
I mean, I graduated high school in '97, and so we missed Dole Kemp and Clinton too, and then so I caught the Bush era, right? So I'm just trying to think through, like, I was in college. How did it affect me? It didn't. It was like, how did you come out of high school is how you kind of voted those first couple of years. So I try to put myself in that position and thinking, like, how do the young people feel? Because, middle-aged guy now, and it's like, I own a business.
Don't lie. Middle-aged guy. Old.
I'm probably the youngest one outside of Walker in the room. I'm twice his age, though. Anyway, I'm just trying to put myself in that position, like, yeah. And I can remember, as a young guy in the business and then taking over the business in 2016 and 2018 fully, like, how did it go? When we were rolling, it was good. We had things going. COVID hit. It was wild. Then we had hurricanes with my business, right? So, like, hurricanes really affect us and what we do. And so we haven't stopped, but I have seen my revenues have gone up, but my purchasing power has just diminished.
Yeah. Inflation has destroyed things.
And then we don't work in a lot of debt in our company, which is great, because I'm just trying to think, man, if I had to borrow money just to go do something,
interest rates are where they are
anything,
now.
Right? Like, I went and bought a car this fall, before the election really got ramped up, and I was like, look, I've got a good bit of money. I got a blank check. I can write the check for the whole thing right now. What's my note?
Subtle brag.
What would it be? Well, no, it
I'm
wasn't.
kidding, I'm kidding.
It was a very useful type of car,
Kidding,
right? It's a very
kidding.
utilitarian, right? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna put down this amount of money. And they were like, okay, here's your rate. I was like, ooh, okay. What if I went up $5,000? They were like, here's your rate. And I was like, whoa, it was like a half point more. And I was like, what if I went half of what I was gonna put down? They're like, oh, your rate is like a eighth higher than what they gave me at the number I gave them. I was like, well, I'm stuck. And I put a third down on the car. And I was like, this is wild. Like, where's the help? Where's the point? Maybe I don't understand it from the finance standpoint, but I was like, man, I should be getting more help. But anyway, that being said, what you should do is probably go on.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Caleb.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, because you got to learn how to speak in sound bites. It happens. It's all right. All right, Caleb.
So first off, I was thinking about how I can hit you in the mouth with a microphone. I was thinking about that. I was testing the waters. Secondly, like I honestly thought I would see more riots, more violence, more fires, and more outcry. And I don't want to say I'm disappointed because I'm not. I hate to see that. I am surprised by the civility that we're seeing in this election.
And I am surprised that we're already getting the 1 minute finger in this segment of implicit bias. So what we're going to do is we're going to table the conversation. We're going to come back. We're going to talk more about what we thought we saw, what we thought we were going to see. We're going to talk about the what would you pay championship belt chain because Ritter finally got the bottle open at the bar. And we will come back with more of your implicit bias.